How's it going, everyone? RoyalFlush here. Welcome to Meter Management, not financial advice. Any of the stocks here is not advice to buy, hold, or sell. Use your own knowledge, take some good notes, and let's have some fun. So today's order of business is using supply and demand lines and the 9 and 30 EMA crossover as a trading strategy for day trading. Or you could use it however you like, but I'm going to focus specifically on the day trading portion of it. But of course, before we get into that, I want to show you some stuff in Street Fighter 6. It's a new fighting game that came out a couple weeks ago, taking the fighting game community by storm. The power of Street Fighter is in full force again, and I actually want to pinpoint a couple of interesting things about the training mode that it has. So let's go right to that. Alright, so I'm in training mode here, and you may actually notice there's a new bar on the bottom there. That's actually a frame data bar. So now, okay, of course, in training mode, you want to practice your basic combos. You know, after you land a hit, what are you supposed to do? What can your opponent do after they either get hit by you or they wake up? What are your optimal combo damage routes? So on and so forth, okay? So I actually main E Honda. He's a very straightforward character. He's all about headbutt, charge moves. He has a few good normals. Namely, I would say his standing medium is one of his most important normals, because he actually works best in the mid range. Okay, so as we can see, this is a 10 frame move, and it is cancelable, and it just leads to a lot of damage. So this is a move that I know I use a lot, and if you're going to play Honda, it's a move that you should know that you're going to be using a lot too. So let's go ahead and use the bar at the bottom to show us what this move is good for. So let's start off with what is it cancelable into, okay? So stand medium. He could actually cancel it into all of his specials. So that was his clap. He can cancel into his medium and or light hands. Let's see if he can cancel it into headbutt. Okay, he can cancel into headbutt. The charger. Let's see what else he can do. There's a new mechanic in this game called Drive Rush, and it uses those green bars on the top. And what it also does is it actually changes the frame data of your attack. So using Drive Rush, it enhances your normals on the ground. So at the cost of 2 bars or 1, depending on how you use it, said normals on the ground will have different frame data. They're either going to be more plus on hit and or block. Then generally they're more safe they're more safe and allow you to do combos you normally would not be able to do. So sticking on point here with Honda's standing medium, normally 10 frame and plus 4 on hit. Let's see what it is on hit after I drive rush it. Okay, so still 10 frames, but now it's plus 8. So that tells me that anything that Honda throws after a drive rush standing medium will actually hit. So that means he can throw out a jab combo, a jab target combo, his standing light kick, crouching light kick. What else can he throw out? You can also throw out another standing medium punch. See, if you land a standing medium punch in neutral and then you drive rush it again, then you can land another standing medium punch. Also land standing heavy kick combos. So as you can see here, using drive rush just adds a lot to the mechanics of this game. You can also see how minus you are. But the real thing I want to focus on here is the fact that frame data is visually presented to you. Normally this is stuff that you have to go out and find on your own. But it's actually just built into the game from the start. No DLC, it's just there. It's a very, very valuable resource to have. Because when you're playing in a real match, this information is not presented to you whatsoever. You have to just know that these things are the way they are. Knowing your character means knowing what they're safe and punishable on, and what to punish with when you have the opportunity. So why did I show you all that? I mean, of course, it's this is my channel here. It's meter management. I use games as a medium to present stock information to you and to be able to use it as a trader. Okay, so let's go ahead and try to use some lines here and show you how I actually use them in a few actual trades, or how they played out in the trading day. Okay, so as you can see here, we are on open on Webull, and what you might see here is I have these yellow lines marked up on a lot of the tickers that I actually trade. Okay, and so for the sake of simplicity, I'm going to call these supply and demand lines. Supply and demand. So now a common thing about stocks, or I should say a common thing about knowing about trading, is that supply and demand is very closely related to resistance and support. And so now when a stock falls to support, that means it's in an area that it might fall but will be supported and may potentially bounce from. Okay, it's kind of like a floor in a way, and if that support breaks, then we go even lower to the next support. As opposed to support, we have resistance. So when we're talking about upside, it can go up. It can go up to an extent, but there will come a point where it will stop going up so much, and that is what is resisting. So again, support becomes resistance, and resistance becomes support, depending on the type of day the market is trying to move in, or specifically the stock you're trying to trade it. So first, let's focus on these lines that I draw. How should I draw them? Let's go ahead and pick a ticker that is rather blank, and how I would go about drawing these. So I'm gonna go pick a ticker. I'm gonna pick Adobe, ADBE. Okay, relatively fresh ticker here. I have a couple Fibonacci's on it, but this is how I draw these. Usually I do it on extended hours, and then from either the 30-minute to the 1 hour to the 4 hour, I draw these lines. You want to pay attention to how not specifically where it wicks, but when you draw a horizontal line, where is there a lot of interaction, where it is both acting as resistance and support. Okay, so I would say like maybe this little floor area right here, this looks like a solid support area. Let's see if it also resists somewhere. Oh, this looks like a nice one right here around 480s. So let's go ahead and do that. This is this is a really good line actually. Okay, so we'll go and zoom in just a bit closer. You can see here it's supporting over here on the left side, and then as we go more over to the right, it's acting as resistance, and then once it breaks that, okay, good, perfect. So let's go ahead and draw a couple more of these just so we know how this exercise goes. Okay, here's another one right here where it's basing right there, but is also resisting. Seems like a good little candle. Right there. Okay, and now let's go ahead and draw some more. This area looks interesting. It's supporting right there and acting as resistance right there. That's nice. Okay, go ahead and lock these up as you go. Okay, and now when it comes to drawing these, you're gonna want to go and spend time, like when it's not trading day, or when you're not in the middle of actually trading during the market hours, and you want to trade a stock, drawing these is really important. Okay, so once you get to the point that your ticker is like covered up with lines, That just means you have so much more information to trade it and to be able to trade it with more confidence and know the levels that the stock will actually respect, okay, in the middle of a trading day. So that's just how I draw a few of them. Now let's go to some tickers that I actually did trade. As you can see here, so many lines, okay? I've drawn all of these lines on the 30 minute time frame to the 4-hour time frame, okay? With extended hours, and let's go see how it panned out in today's trading day, okay? So we turn off extended hours. And now we're gonna zoom in on what happened in today's trading day. Alright. So I have my 5-minute Fibonacci lines right there. Had the pre-market high and pre-market low, which ended up becoming the daily low. Okay. And as we can see here, it started off with a bit of a dip, okay? With the 9 and 30 EMA crossover, you can see my values there. They are 9, 30, 50, and 200 EMAs. I typically use it on the 5-minute time frame. The reason being that these EMAs are very effective on shorter time frames, especially for day trading. And so the strategy that is very common with these is when you see the 9 and 30, they're going to be the white and lime green lines. When they cross over each other above the candles, we have to expect that there's going to be a lot of downward momentum. But on the reverse, if you see that the lines cross over beneath the candles, that means there's potential for upside movement, okay? And then we have the 50 and 200 EMAs to further support our thesis. If it breaks through the 50, then we go ahead and see if it tests the 200. And then same way, if it starts breaking below the 200 and below the 50 EMAs, then we have to expect that there's going to be a lot of downward momentum. Okay, and I actually traded Tesla today. I slept in for quite a bit, and I thought, I don't think I'll trade today. But I saw that this crossover was forming here around 11 o'clock, okay? And so I see this, and I was like, okay, well, let me go and put my order in. I actually put my order in somewhere around here, all right? And then it crossed over, and then as you can see here, the wicks of the candles were getting rejected off of the 9 EMA here. And look at all that. It brought the stock down so much. So I actually was writing puts, okay? I bought a put on Tesla and made about 33%. Let's go ahead and see an example of this on the upside. Let's look at Meta, okay? They were green on the day, okay? You could see that there was actually an EMA crossover very early on in the day, right here towards the left. So right here around 750, EMA crossover all the way up. So you can use this strategy both ways, okay? And remember the supply and demand lines that I have drawn? Well, look at this. It went through that. I went through this one right here at 285. And then it went all the way up past this one here at 288.27. And then a little bit later on, market started dipping a little bit, but in between the supply and demand lines, which are not acting as zones, okay? So when drawing these lines, you're using them to gauge how far a move can be taken, because as nice as it is to take a move really far and, you want to see your trade, make a lot of money, you have to get off at a certain point, okay? You set a price target for what you think the stock is going to go to and see if these lines agree with that thesis, okay? So this was a very strong up move. You could have played a little bit of the downside towards the end of the market day, but then it reversed right back there to close. All right, and now let's go ahead and look at it on another ticker that was another one that I traded this week, Costco. So again, on the 5-minute time frame, it looks like there was a bit of a dip at the start of the day, but then I have all these lines drawn here on stronger time frames. Let's see how well it was respected. So you see there was a 9 and 30 EMA crossover here at around, let's call it 8:45, and that was a bit of a upside move here, okay? And it lasted for all the way up until about 12 o'clock. And then there was a bit of a dip, and then strong close, okay? So as you can see, this is a strategy that you could use just to identify when to enter a trade. So again, the 9 and 30, you want to see them cross over. If they're crossing above the candles, that means it's a strong down move. That's what happened today on Tesla. That's an actual play I made today on the 5-minute time frame. But again, if it crosses over to the upside and you see a crossover beneath the candles, that means there's going to be a reversal. This is a reversal type of movement. These candles here, or this crossover play. So pay attention to when you see the crossovers forming, and then that is when you can attempt to make a trade and see how well it works out for you. Okay, but the main key takeaways here are knowing that if you have your tickers marked out with all sorts of lines and indicators that are very useful to you, use it to your advantage as a trader and see how far you can take a trade and how well it can prove useful to you in future trades. This is a strategy that I've been trading all year, and it's just one that I've heavily focused on, and it's been giving me pretty decent results, especially now that I can day trade. Alright, so let me know what you think about this strategy. Is it something that you think that you might actually use? Personally, I use it especially on days when I don't know which way the market is going. I use it and I kind of just look out for that on the day. Flip through a few tickers that I've already marked up using my supply and demand lines. And then I determine whether or not to enter a trade. It can be a little tricky, but the more you see it and the more you get used to seeing crossovers on the 5-minute chart, you want to just go ahead and flip over to stronger time frames and see if there's any regular simple moving averages that are acting as support or resistance in the direction of which way you think the trade is going to go. Okay, so it's a very useful strategy, so go ahead and try and make it useful to you. Okay, anyways, I'm out of here. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you want to earn it, you're going to have to learn it. In order to get what we desire, you gotta jump through the fire. Okay, catch you later. Have fun playing Street Fighter, and good luck with your trades.